Let's talk about contact exports. Now, these are one of the most versatile and powerful exports that you can run from Gecko, so it's good to get a grasp on how they work. To get started, navigate to Settings, search, spell export correctly, go to Export Data and click New Export in the top right hand corner. Now, if you get an error saying you're unable to do it, it may be you're part of a user group with insufficient permissions. Now, the first thing we need to do by default is that we're already on the contacts export. Now, as a really quick rundown, what this does is it tells Gecko currently, if we were to just hit the export button now, we would be exporting all of the contact fields for every single contact on Gecko. Now, don't worry, if we tried that, you get a warning saying, are you sure you want to do this? Because it's unlikely that you do. Fortunately, what we can do though is scroll down a little bit and set a few things up. Firstly, do we want to filter our data? We definitely recommend doing that so you don't pull absolutely everyone unless that's your specific use case. And to aid you with that, you can use a previously saved filter, which is usually created either in the export or on the contacts page, or you can create your set of filters. So who do you want to fill in? What variables do you want to filter by? Events people have been at, imports they've been part of, responses to forms they've given. Whatever your customizability is, feel free to pick an option that suits you best. Give your export a name. Choose who gets sent a copy of this. By default, this is going to be you, but you can choose other Gecko users, or you can choose to email this to external users that don't have a Gecko account. Where this gets really interesting, however, is your ability to create a custom export. When toggled on, you can cherry pick exactly which contact fields are going to be exported. So for example, we could choose to export the full name. Now, the way to think about this is any fields that you add are going to be on a spreadsheet. This is going to be column A, this is going to be column B, and any subsequent fields that we add are going to be column C, and so on and so forth. Some fields allow you to choose what information gets pulled through. So if we're pulling the contact full name, for example, do we want the first and the last name to appear in this field? Or clicking this, you can choose which format that data appears in. You can, of course, also customize the column header. So on our spreadsheet, this is going to be the name of my column header, first name now. I could customize this from email address and so on and so forth. Where things get really interesting is the ability to mix and match different modules. So for example, if we wanted to pull contact data, but we also wanted information from a really important form that's been getting a ton of responses, then we can choose to come to the add section and we can say, in addition to these contact fields, Gecko, I want you to pull attendance information from an event, response information from a particular form, consent information, organization information, or calls that we've been making to them. In the instance of the form, pick the form that you want to be pulling from, and then Gecko will tell you, here are the different fields on that form. Again, how would you like those to be structured? What information do you want to be included? The final things to point out are, once you're finished with your template and you're happy, you can tell Gecko to run this on a recurring basis. So this could be hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly, and you can specify the time. You can also pick an optional end date, but do know that if you choose to leave this as an unlimited, recurring forever and ever and ever, you have full control to come in at any time and stop this manually. You can choose to also push this to an SFTP server. The final things are, when you are completely set, you're happy with everything, it all looks as you'd like, you can choose to save this as a template. So next time, if you want to run an identical export or tweak it ever so slightly, you can just come in and load that template. And when you are ready to run it, just click the export button in the top right hand corner.